app that you're going to get to use in tech class today is called Mailmans Codes, Volume 1 in the App Store. So have your grown-ups help you download that app first. Unfortunately, however, it's only available for iPads and iPhones, so I apologize ahead of time for that if you don't have one of those devices. And if that's the case, then I encourage you to just spend a little time for tech class today using the app from last tech class, that was 2 weeks ago, which was the Lightbot Junior app. So if you would like to do that one instead anyway, you're welcome to, but especially that should be a good option if you don't have an iPad or iPhone to download this new one on. But if you're able to download Mailman's Codes Volume 1 on an iPad or an iPhone, let me show you how to use it. So when you first open it up, I'm going to turn my volume down so you can actually hear me talk instead of the music on the app. You are going to hit play, and it's going to load for a second. And the whole premise of this app is that you are helping a little robotic mailman or mail carrier deliver the mail for different parts of a neighborhood. And since you're going to be in charge of an actual little truck that's driving around the streets, they want you to do a little practice driving before it goes actually into the neighborhoods. Just like everyone who gets a driver's license has to practice first before they get their license. So here is your little practice track. And they always show you where you're trying to go with that blinking target. Do you see that blinking target in the middle of the screen? That's where your little truck is trying to go. So you, as the coder or programmer, are trying to give it instructions for how to get there, using the arrows in the menu on the side and putting them in the right order in the boxes on the bottom. So if you were sitting in that truck, which way would you have to go? Yeah, you'd have to go straight, but in this app, they actually call it down. So we're going to use the down arrow. And then let's see if one down is enough. You can always test it out, even if you're not sure. So to test it, you press the red play button, and the little mail truck gets a package into the cargo compartment and then goes and boots it out. And it looks like one little arrow was enough to get it that far. And then it gives you a slightly harder challenge. And so let's see, I think it gives us a few hints too to help us learn the app. If you saw that little hand motion that just swept through the screen. So give us a little hint that we need the down arrow again. And then we're going to need to turn the corner and go to the side. So let's see if that works. Get the package in. And boop, the package out. Hopefully there's nothing fragile in that package because it's just being thrown around by the robotic mail truck. So now we've graduated out of driving school into the real neighborhood. And just like in driving school, the place that we're supposed to deliver the package is marked with a blinking target sign. And this one's pretty easy to see because it's really close to where we're starting. But you can also take your finger and drag around the neighborhood if the target is farther away and you can't see it at first. So in this case, though, it's right next to us. So I think we're going to need a down and then a turn to the right from the perspective of what we're looking at. If we were actually in the car, it'd be a different perspective. So that's why this app is a little confusing sometimes compared to some of the other apps and coding activities we've done. But in this app, it's based on the perspective that you have looking at the screen for which direction the truck should go. And then we press the red run program arrow to get it going. And the truck takes off and boops that little package out. So it's gonna maybe feel a little comfortable for the first few levels. And then just like the other apps and just like the other activities we've done in school to become better programmers, it will get more and more challenging. So there will come a point where you might mess up and have to look back through your code and see where your mistake was, and also look back at the map of the neighborhood and think about if there was any way you should have turned, because every time the truck gets to an intersection, that is a chance for it to turn. So that sometimes can be a little tricky. So let's just do one or two more together, and then I'm going to let you do the rest on your own. Looks like we have to turn the other way this time. Let's do it. Get the little package in. Take off. Boop the package out. Here you go. And I think this one is going to be, yep, this one involves an extra turn. So we're going to have to tell the truck what to do when it gets to that first intersection where those streets all kind of connect to each other. So I think we have to go down and then to the right from our perspective above the neighborhood, and then going to be down, I think. Let's try. If we make a mistake, that's okay, because we can always do it again. There we go. Boop, there's your package. So those are the first few levels that we just did together. It will get trickier and trickier as the target gets farther away and there are more and more turns that you're going to have to plan and add to your program. And then it also gets trickier because they start adding obstacles in the middle of the street, like streets that are closed or construction zones, so you can't go certain routes and you have to figure out other ways to get around the neighborhood to deliver your package. So keep your eyes out for those. Eventually, some of the higher levels also have some tunnels you can go through, that you enter the tunnel on one side of the neighborhood and it makes you go out the exit of the tunnel in a different part of the neighborhood. So that's a fun little coding challenge to figure out how to integrate those tunnels into your code too. So good luck with the coding challenges for Mailman Codes. That's what the app is called on the App Store. In here, I think they call it Postman Codes. By the way, this is where you can just see all the different levels, but do try to go through them one at a time so that you can practice each skill and get better and better. But yep, I think they call it Postman Codes in the app, but on the App Store, it's called Mailman's Codes. Have a great time, and let me know if you have any questions.